sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver Common Sense Show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a live broadcast, go to Reaver.one, click on the live stream. And if you like this live stream, well, don't forget to subscribe to it. Keep up to date. If you want to support the show, if you want to support shrmedia.com, go to Reaver.one and click on the Reaver store. Pick up a t-shirt, coffee mugs, Reaver jersey, even a SHR Media jersey, and many other items to choose from. So today is Wisconsin's primary. This one's going to be interesting to see how it comes out. There's been several polls over the last couple weeks that had Ted Cruz in the lead. At one point, it had Ted Cruz up by 10, then by 6, then by 5. And then last night, a new poll was released with Trump at plus 10. Now, that kind of had me scratching my head, and I know a lot of people have been scratching their head, because if you looked at the polls, most of them, if it was under 1,000, it was damn. Still not awake. It was pro-Cruz. But then, all of a sudden, this poll last night comes out, and it was under 1,000, and it is pro-Trump. But it made me start thinking back to 2012, right before the presidential, and 2014 before really things got going with the elections. And I noticed these polls they were showing wasn't matching up with what I was hearing in real life. And they were showing, all these Democrats in the lead at all times. But as it got closer to Election Day, all of a sudden, the polls switched. And I talked to a couple people, and it's a feasible possibility. They like to play mind games with people. And just hear me out on this. I'm not saying it's definitely happening, but it makes you wonder. They put these polls out that are in direct conflict of what the actual poll results are. They put it to a way that they want you to vote. As an example, they want you to vote for Cruz. So they'll give these pro-Cruz polls out there. And what it does is those that are want to vote for Trump, they see these poll numbers and it shows that Cruz is way ahead. It kind of is a psychological, well, Trump's not going to win it, so I might as well not waste my vote, and I'll vote for Cruz. And that's kind of what they do. And then what they're hoping for is that you don't pay attention to the polls that come out closer to when your voting period is. And that's when they switch it, because they don't want to be known as the polls that got it wrong. So they don't want to go all the way up to the day of the voting And then, their polls are so far off, nobody will trust them. So they start giving out the actual results. Oh, I'm getting old. Just started needing my glasses, really, again, lately. So, Daily Beast comedian Dean, I'm not even going to try the douchebag's last name. It's not even worth it, but it's like Obadiah. A reaction when he learned it was a Muslim, not a far-right activist, who had mowed down a Muslim woman in Brussels. CNN and Daily Beast contributor Dean Obadiah told a Twitter user to go fuck yourself after he was asked to apologize for spreading a false story about far-right activities and a hit-and-run attack on a Muslim woman in Brussels. When confronted with the truth behind the falsely reported story that Dean had tweeted out on April 3rd, the Sirius XM host of the Dean Obadiah, Delilah, whatever the douchebag's last name is, radio show, reacted angrily, first implying that no reputable news outlet had updated their stories to reflect that the two men who ran over a Muslim woman in Brussels this weekend were Muslim youths, not far-right activists. And the exact quote was, tweet, Muslim woman mowed down by far-right activists in Brussels. Daily M.AI, well, very long web address. It has been proven. The media immediately jumped on it saying this is caused by the far right. This is caused by Trump's rhetoric. This is the hate of the far right. They do it all the time. Every time there's an incident, they jump all over it, and they're going to prove that it's the far right. The far right hates everybody. Uh-oh. It was a Muslim that killed another Muslim. Oh, time for this story to go into nothingness. There was that shooting recently at the White House. Have you heard about it? No. The first day, it was all over the news, and, oh, wait a minute, this guy isn't a conservative. This guy isn't a right-wing nut. Time to let this story die. The only time they want to put these stories out there and plaster them is when they try to make the right look bad. And the only one that seems to have any goddamn hate is the far left. The party's motto of tolerance and choice. They are tolerant of nothing, and you cannot choose anything. A friend of mine's mother, she's like a second mother. When me and my buddy, we went to paramedic school together in the first day, I'm not the one for classes. I don't handle it good. So I went and picked my buddy up, and it was at his mom's house. And she had gotten a book of I Don't Want to Go to School. She's always been like a second mother to me. She was very helpful in EMS. She wasn't a member, but she would do a lot of the stuff to help us out. And she had put up a video, or I should say shared a video. And it was talking about the Bernie Sanders rallies and how peaceful they are compared to the Donald Trump violent fest. I watched through it. And it's showing Donald Trump's rallies and people yelling, screaming, getting in arguments, pushing, shoving. And then it shows Bernie Sanders' rally of hugging and everybody high-fiving. Woo! It's a big party. And I was kind of like, Mom, yeah. What you don't notice there, And what that video fails to tell you, yes, Bernie Sanders rallies are nice and peaceful. Trump people do not go and protest. They give the respect to the people for Bernie Sanders supporters. They give the respect for them to go there and see it in peace and do what they want to do with Bernie Sanders in peace. What you're seeing, the violence and the yelling and screaming, is the Bernie Sanders supporters and the Hillary Clinton supporters coming to Trump's rallies and starting trouble. So how is that Trump's fault? How is that Trump is the one that's causing the violence when it's the Bernie Sanders, the Hillary Clinton supporters coming and starting the trouble? It's not the Trump supporters that are stomping all over American flags. That would be Bernie Sanders supporters. Yes, they're nice and peaceful when they're around Bernie Sanders, but they get violent anywhere else. There is a video floating around on Facebook. A gentleman did a little experiment. He has two signs. One's a pro-Trump and one's a pro-Bernie. He starts out with a pro-Bernie for a couple minutes, and nobody says anything. Just one person's like, hey, I'm voting for Trump. Have a nice day. He brings out the pro-Trump, and he literally gets assaulted. He gets attacked physically by Bernie supporters. They start attacking him. Bernie Sanders supporters do not respect anybody else, but they want everybody to give them respect. And that's the left journalists and these left mouthpieces. They want to be able to spew all the hate they want, like this clown, Dean Obadiah. But when it comes time for him to stand up and say, hey, I reported this wrong, I jumped the gun too fast, I'm sorry. No, what does he say? Fuck you. Shows the mentality of the left. Shows the mentality, the hate that they have. When Mr. Obadiah, whatever the hell his jerk-off's name is, was confronted by the facts of the case, as Breitbart London has reported here, he offered the following response, claiming that he would only clarify if a U.S. media outlet, like one from CNN or even Fox, was cited, despite the fact that his original link was from Britain's Daily Mail, which has now quickly edited its headline, though its social media share button still alleges the attackers were far right. He wants to know, why can't you simply send me a U.S. media outlet's article like one from CNN or even Fox News? Earlier today, it was reported that a hit and run on a Muslim woman in Brussels this past weekend blamed it on the far-right anti-Islam demonstrators was in fact perpetrated by alleged drunk local youth named Mohammed. The incident has been seized upon by anti-Islamophobia campaigners, many of whom have since failed to correct their original assertion, claiming that the attack was perpetrated by far-right activists. CNN and Daily Beast, where Mr. Obadiah contributes for comment on the matter. This douchebag has previously claimed that Donald Trump is a bigger threat than ISIS, echoing comments made by the Hungarian-American billionaire George Soros, who funds open border groups around the world. He has also raised cash for the Council on American Islamic Relationships, claimed that radical Islam is a made-up idea, and attacked Christian terrorists on a day that 21 Christians were slaughtered by ISIS affiliates in Libya. These people are blind, and I don't understand why. They're blind to ISIS. They want to attack Christians. They bitch and complain about the Koch brothers, but then are funded by George Soros. He is out for the destruction of the United States of America. He is out for the destruction of our country. He is a left-leaning piece of shit that helped the Nazis. But it's okay for him to pump money into stuff, but the left cries about the Koch brothers. Well, people, stop being quiet about this. Stop keeping your mouth shut about this. Stop saying this is none of my business. Stop saying I can't do nothing. You can start speaking up and putting this rape back onto the left. Because when they go screaming about something and crying, it's usually because their party's doing it and the right just picked up on it. To show you the lunacy of the left, California Jerry Brown signed legislation this past Monday to raise the statewide minimum wage to $15 per hour, the highest in the U.S., while admitting a $15 minimum wage made no economical sense. He said it made moral sense. Brown signed a statewide increase to $10 per hour less than 2.5 years ago and opposed a new increase to $15 until pressure from unions caused him to relent. Union contributions to moderate Democrats also helped. Economically, minimum wage may not make sense, Brown said, according to the Sacramento Bee, but morally, socially, and politically, the minimum wage makes every sense because it binds the community together and makes sure that parents can take care of their kids in a much more satisfactory way. No, it will not. Because they're going to have to raise the prices of everything to pay for the employees that have an increase in wages. You're keeping right where we were. The only thing you're going to do is bump up the poverty line. That's all you're doing. Where the poverty line may have been $20,000 a year or whatever it is. I'm just giving out an easy number. Where the new poverty line is going to be like $25,000 a year. Because, yes, everybody's making more money, but the items have to go up. When you go to purchase milk, it's going to have to go from like $4 up to $6 now. It's not going to take people out of poverty. It's not going to stop any of our economical issues. It's going to cause more problems. And the only thing the Democrats are doing by this are buying votes. People, if you're for this, understand this is not going to help you. This is going to hurt you. It is going to hurt you in the long run. It is going to hurt retired people. They're not getting a raise. They don't get an increase. You're hurting your grandparents. You're hurting our kids because now these employers have to pay a higher minimum wage. They're going to want somebody that's more experienced and more reliable than maybe a teenage kid, where they would have taken the chance and the time to train them. They're not going to do that now. You're screwing yourselves out of a job because the Democrats are buying votes because you think it's going to be great. All you see is the dollar signs. You don't see the end game. You have a governor saying it is not sensible on an economical standpoint. And he admits it's a political standpoint for him. But he buries it in with other fluffy words of morals, social. None of it's going to help. The governor made no comment on what parents who cannot find a job are meant to do to take care of their children. The call for a $15 million minimum wage is expected to resound nationwide. Already, Democrats are making it a theme of their political campaign. On Sunday, former Bill Clinton praised California for enacting the measure. You're screwing yourselves over. The people that are seeing the dollar signs are the ones that are going to get screwed over. What are we going to do? Well, you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on High Plains Pundit Radio and SHR Media. We'll be right back after this break.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying half of the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. Trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch the broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. And if you like the live stream, don't forget to subscribe to it. Keep up to date. If you want to support the show, if you want to support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one. Click on the Reaver store. Pick up some t-shirts, coffee mugs, even Reaver jerseys, or a SHR Media jersey. And there is a lot of other items to choose from. So, politicians just do not listen. They have this mentality that they're smarter than everybody else. Usually they're dumber than a bag of bricks. A killer illegal immigrant entered the U.S. as an unaccompanied child. The illegal immigrant charged with killing 21-year-old Sarah Root while street racing drunk entered the U.S. as an unaccompanied child 3 years ago, according to Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Edwin, a.k.a. Eswin Mejia, an illegal immigrant from Honduras, was released after ICE declined to detain him following his arrest and posting bail. He remains at large and is currently on the ICE Most Wanted list. In a letter to Senator Ben Sasse responding to a series of his questions, ICE Director Sarah Saladina revealed that Edwin was initially apprehended when he entered the country illegally in 2013, but was granted the special treatment afforded to detained unaccompanied minors from non-contagious countries, released into the United States and never deported. The answer portion of Saladina's letter reads, in May 2013, Edwin was encountered by the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, U.S. Border Patrol near Arizona, after entering the United States without inspection. At the time of this encounter, he was 16 years old and determined to be an unaccompanied child. Shortly after the initial removal process against him with the issuance of a notice to appear, he was transferred to the Department of Health and Human Services Office of Refugee Resettlement as required by law. He had no recorded criminal history in the United States at this time. In June 2013, consistent with applicable laws, ORR, which is the Office of Refugee Resettlement, released Edwin to his brother in Tennessee. In early 2014, he was relocated with his brother to the Omaha, Nebraska area. According to the letter, his next immigration hearing before an immigration was scheduled for April 19, 2016. In January 2016, Omaha police arrested him after he crashed into Root's vehicle, allegedly while street racing drunk. The crash killed Root. ICE has stated that it did not file a detainer against him because his crimes did not meet ICE's enforcement priorities. In the letter, Saladin walks back the argument that Edwin's crimes did not meet the priority standard. After further review, we believe that further enforcement actions would have served an important federal interest in this case, as provided for in the Secretary Johnson's November 20th, 2014 Civil Immigration Enforcement Priority Memo. It just floors me. These people come in here, break our laws, are held to a different standard than everyday Americans. We are held to a higher standard. We're told to have compassion for these people because they're trying to make better lives for themselves. And most people have compassion for immigrants that come here legally. We have compassion for them, and I don't think there's many out there that wouldn't say we wouldn't want to help them when they do it legally. But we have these people that are willingly and knowingly breaking our laws. And then our government officials are saying, no. We need to have compassion. We need to understand them. What you're doing is ingraining in their head that they can break their laws of the United States at will. Because these politicians have these bleeding hearts for them so they can do whatever they want. Whether these politicians know they're doing it indirectly, directly, it doesn't matter. They're running around, these illegal immigrants. They're running around doing whatever the hell they want because the government has already said, hey, you could break our laws and we don't care. In fact, we're going to reward you for breaking our laws. Where is the Americans that have busted their ass every day? Where's their amnesty? Why is it we're always treated like the second-rate citizen and we give everything to people who are breaking our laws to get in the country and then sit there and tell us how much we're hated in the world? I don't hear anybody trying to break into Russia, China, Iraq, Syria, Libya. I don't see people trying to break into their countries, but I see them by the boatloads and truckloads and masses trying to break into the United States. So don't tell me that we're hated because they come here. Because right now we're a bunch of suckers that are told we have to be compassionate to everybody and allow these people to do what they want and come across our borders. And no, I am not this open borders idiot. Without borders, we are not a country. And you're so simple within your thinking that you don't realize you're being used because there is people that want to push this one world nation. It is out in the open. They don't deny it. It has been signed by government officials. It is with the UN. It is on their website. It is not conspiracy. They admit it. They've been wanting to take it one step at a time, and you see the European Union there. That's one step. Now they want to do the America. They want basically Mexico, United States, and Canada to become one big country. Once everybody gets used to that, then you expand it a little more. That's why they're trying to ingrain in our youth borders are bad. Without borders, you are no country. But if you're no country, that means we don't have to listen to you. So you got to watch how you push that. But I am sick and tired of being treated like a second-rate citizen to criminals. And that's the correct word to use when you break the laws. And no, our immigration laws are not broken. They're not being enforced. Our gun laws are not broken. Our gun laws don't have all these loopholes. Our gun laws just are not being enforced. It's... ICE's response does not attempt to answer why it did not detain an illegal alien who killed an innocent woman and is now on the run as one of ICE's most wanted. Director Saldina handling of this matter shows no regard for the Root family and continues to be an embarrassment to the hardworking men and women at the Department of Homeland Security. Sass goes on, I am referring my questions to your office and look forward to a thorough response as soon as possible. And direct questions that he asks, who exactly at ICE was responsible for evaluating Edwin, whether he was a threat to the public safety? Why did ICE decline to detain him, despite several requests to do so by the Douglas County Police Department, where each of these requests denied on a case-by-case basis? In its public statement, ICE referred to the November 20th, 2014 immigration executive action. Why does ICE believe that new policies required the agency not to detain him? Did anyone within ICE consider him a flight risk? What steps were taken to ensure he did not flee the country? What is ICE doing now to find him? And do you consider him a threat to the public? They released a person who, number one, broke the laws to get into the country. Now he has committed murder by vehicular manslaughter, or whatever that state titles it as. And they let him walk freely. He is a flight risk. We're hearing these stories time and time and time again of these illegal aliens doing whatever they want and being treated as if they are the victims. The left keeps screaming that we're not the world's police and we're not the world's babysitter. When you talk about immigration to illegal immigration, yes, illegal, you're not getting the cream of the crop. Because the cream of the crop are going to want to do it legally. They're going to want to come here the right way. It is those that do not care about what laws they have to break to get what they want. These stories are popping up way too often. Way too often. Americans are being murdered by people who should not even be in this country. Then they want to chastise Americans for protecting themselves. The government is causing this massive issue, and they expect us to stand unprotected. It's kind of mind-boggling how idiotic the government can be. But what's not idiotic is you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on High Plains Pundit Radio and SHR Media. We'll be right back.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room. Join the conversation. If you want to watch the broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream button. If you like this live stream, don't forget to subscribe and comment. If you want to support the show or support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one, click on the Reaver store, pick up a t-shirt, coffee mugs, Reaver and SHR Media jerseys, many other items to choose from. So Scotland, I talked about this a little yesterday, but I wanted to go a little bit more information on it. The Glasgow Gestapo, aka Sharia police, threatened internet users in Scotland. The Glasgow police have threatened social media users, ordering them to be kind to Muslims and not hurtful to Muslims unless they want to receive a visit from police. As if to imply the Muslim migrant invasion isn't the problem, it's people not wanting to be overrun, raped, or robbed by them. Using the witty acronym THINK and the hashtag Think Before You Post, they caution people to consider whether something is true, hurtful, illegal, necessary, or kind before sending. I do believe people need to pay attention to what they're posting on social media. They need to step back and say, would I actually say this to the person's face? And be realistic about it. Too many people shoot their mouths off on the internet thinking it's perfectly okay because they're behind a screen. And then are surprised when they do get a knock on the door from the police when they're making death threats. But this was taken a little too far. If it hurts someone's feelings, buck up, buttercup. Get a thicker skin. The truth anymore seems to be a very adjustable achievement. It depends on what your political ideology is whether something is true or not. I know that's not the definition of true, but that's what it seems like in real life anymore. If it doesn't match up with certain political ideologies, it's not true anymore just because it doesn't match up with those ideology. Both sides have blinders on anymore. Nobody seems to be willing to work together, and within working together, there is compromise. You not only have it through political ideology, but also through, you have your political class, and then you have, the citizens, the lesser class. This, one man's necessary is another man's unnecessary. And what I say, you might not find it kind and you might find it hurtful, where I might find it funny. So it's very subjective on this THINK acronym. But responding to the tweets, users took to their keyboards, mostly expressing ridicule at what they consider the force's ludicrously wide scope. Picking on the THINK acronym, warning over unnecessary activities, one user queried that what action the force will take if a tweet is thought to be unnecessary. Another quipped that if it's unnecessary, social media activity is inadvisable. Then the police force's Facebook and Twitter accounts should be shut down. The ominously totalitarian tone of the tweet will come as a little surprise to those familiar with Scottish police who have form on the matter. In February this year, Scottish police arrested a 41-year-old man who, under the Communications Act, after receiving a report of a supposedly offensive comment made on Facebook regarding Syrian migrants. So, don't laugh, people, because this is coming to the United States, and they've been slowly pushing things like this the left have. I mean, you have in the colleges the safe spaces. You have the microaggressions. You have said offensive words you cannot say. You must go stand in timeout. So, don't sit there and think just because it's happening in Scotland, it won't happen here. We already have that here. And it's slowly creeping up. It's slowly. And seriously, these colleges, when someone writes in chalk, Trump 2016 and you need a counselor, I would say you need a counselor, because if you're that thin-skinned, you are that wussified, then yes, you need counseling. You need to toughen up. The man was from the tiny Isle of Bute in the Firth of Clyde, which has a total population of just 6,498 and was expected to take in around 1,000 Syrian migrants. Commenting on the sudden and massive change is now all but impossible for locals. That's what's pissed me off. We're not allowed to speak up about this, whether in Europe or the United States or Canada. These politicians that are elected by us and are supposed to represent us are not listening to us, that we don't want this. That's the main issue that's going on. And that's what they're not getting through their heads. We're all saying no. And then they're telling us they know what's best for us. You can't even run our country. You can't even run your own office. But you're going to tell us what's best for us. A police spokesman was unequivocally that any harsh criticism of the Muslim influx would not be tolerated. Inspector Ewan Wilson from police office told The Guardian following the arrest, "It is unclear as to whether or not sharing this article would constitute an unnecessary post, but you can be sure that sharing anything from barenakedislam.com will have the police knocking on your door." This, I said it yesterday, I'm going to say it again. This is the type of government that our forefathers, our grandfathers, our fathers fought against during World War II. This is the exact shit that the Allied forces fought against to stop. And we're now have all of our governments pushing for it. The ones that fought against this type of government. We have fought. We have bled. We have put down our lives to protect our countries against this. And now we have it. And it's scary and frightening at the same time. Well, of course, that some of those people that laid down their lives are still alive to see what's going on. This is exactly what we fought against in World War II. And this is what our governments are now pushing on us. The governments that told its people it had to go to war to fight against it. The same governments that said you have to lay down your life to stop this are the ones that are now pushing it. It's absolutely sickening. The force's heavy-handedness may be viewed as hypocritical, as the most recent retweet at the time of going to publish was about them failing to take any further actions against the imam who had shared approving messages about a Pakistani murderer. The imam was from a Glasgow central mosque, reportedly used WhatsApp to show support for him, a murderer who was hanged after killing a Pakistani politician for opposing Islam blasphemy laws. Police in Scotland said it had reviewed the message, but said no criminality has been established. So they can say whatever they want. But us, not Islam, have to watch what we're saying. The players have changed. The names have changed. But this is exactly what our countries told our grandfathers, that they had to go to war, had to give up their lives, had to lay down and bleed to stop. And now we have government, the same government's pushing it. Can someone explain to me? How did we let this happen? And we have it here in the United States. We have people that are cheering this type of government. These safe zones. These safe spaces. You can't say things that hurt feelings. You have college students that are willing and want to end freedom of speech because they don't think hurtful things should be said. Oh. Yeah, it scares me. Our governments tell us to go to war to stop this stuff, and now they're the ones that are promoting. And there's only one recourse to any of this, and it's not a good recourse. Because it's not just the United States. This is happening worldwide. And it boggles my mind that we have politicians that are blind to it. We have politicians, either they just ignore what's going on, or they don't realize what's going on, but yet they keep pushing for the end of everything that makes America great. Then they wonder why we say we want our country back. It's not that we want the Bush eras back. You could see it all over where being patriotic is a bad thing. Caring about your country. Wanting to go back to being a leader instead of a follower. It's a bad thing.
Damn!
Don't you hate it when you queue up the wrong one? You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on High Plains Pundit Radio, and SHR Media. We'll be right back after this break.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cop was stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reverbcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reverb Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream And if you like the live stream, don't forget to subscribe and keep up to date. If you want to support the show, if you want to support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one and click on the Reaver store. Pick up a t-shirt, coffee mug, or even a Reaver jersey with many, many other items to choose from. So, the students in Princeton University have been battling with the college, and they've wanted Woodrow Wilson's name removed from its campus building. But Princeton University finally got a set of balls, and on Monday ruled out removing Woodrow Wilson's name from its campus buildings, despite accusation that the former president was racist. Princeton must openly and candidly recognize that Wilson, like other historical figures, leave behind a complex legacy of both positive and negative repercussions. The school's board said in a statement, according to the New York Times, using Wilson's name implies no endorsement of views or actions that conflict with the values and aspirations of our time. The New York Times on Monday reported that the Black Justice League, a student activist group, began challenging Wilson's legacy last September. The group distributed posters on campus documenting Wilson's views on race, especially voting in his vocal support for segregation. The Associated Press on Monday reported that Black Justice League protesters then conducted a 32-hour sit-in at a Princeton President Christopher S. Gruber office that began November 18th. Now, what I find funny is they pick and choose which ones they're going to go after. Now I can't remember. I had it, and I can't remember which president said it. So give me 1 second so I can look this up. If I know I had one or two people to talk to. LBJ, Lyndon B. Johnson, said, I will have those Negroes voting Democrats for years to come. Excuse me, for 200 years. And he didn't exactly, I tweaked the one word so as not to be offensive. But they don't go after that, and they don't go after Democrats for that type of view. That is a view that has been going on with Democrats for well over 200 years. But they ignore those facts and back the party that has been racially against them still to this day. And don't tell me that they've changed, because if they changed in the 1960s, then why did they still have a senator and back a senator that was a KKK member? Not just a member, high-ranking and recruiting KKK member. Oh, yeah, he retired. When was it? Oh, 2010. Why is it, do we have pictures of Hillary Clinton, all buddy chum-chums with a KKK, Grandmaster or whatever they're called? Oh, everybody ignores those parts. They pick and choose what they want to view. They label certain people racist that there's no proof of being racist. I still love, because you have the people on the left that are trying to attack Trump on being racist because he says he wants to make America white again. He never said no such thing. The left has said that. The left has interjected that. The left is the one that keeps going to the racism. And it's getting old with a lot of people. But the left ignores their racism. In fact, they're trying to change history to erase their racism throughout their history. And it's just getting tiresome. And I can't believe people are still falling for the same bullshit, the same tactics. And they just keep trucking along and keep lying to them. And they just, it's basically, look, he's a racist the whole time being the racist. The Democrat Party is the perfect magician. They have you looking at the right hand while the left hand's in your pocket stealing from you. Oh, that's why Princeton didn't take his name off. He was a Democratic president. So, of course, they're not going to allow that because they don't want the Democrats being labeled with any type of racism. I still don't think it should be taken off whether Democrat or Republican. I don't think these statues depicting history with the Civil War should be taken down. Nobody's had an issue for how many decades, and now all of a sudden we have a problem. There are so many flags that are on the spirit of killing and aren't banned, but yet they want to ban the Confederate flag. Nobody had an issue with the Confederate flag. No one had a problem with the General Lee for decades. Now, all of a sudden, you have one idiot committing a murder, and all of a sudden, everybody's, look, he's in a picture. He's in a picture with a Confederate flag. Let's blame that. Same thing with a lion. Nobody even knew that goddamn lion existed. No one cared about that lion. And then all of a sudden, it gets killed. And oh my God, Cecil got killed. Yeah, and? Sorry. Now you're looking at a culling of 200 lions because they don't have the money coming in because you scared off all the hunters. So the conservatory might have to shut down. There's an overabundance of lions in that area, so they have to kill off 200 of them to drop the population down so it makes it safer for everybody. And also when you have a higher population of lions and not enough food, you can cause disease, famine, and a host of other things. But they don't see that. They don't look at that overall picture. They just look at the immediate. This is what it's going to do. They don't look at the money that's brought in on those hunts and what it does. I don't see those that caused the big stink giving up money out of their pocket to make sure that conservation group stays in business and is able to do what it does. I don't see them taking out of their pocket to pay for the relocation of 200 lions, which they don't even know where they could put 200 lions, but the cost would be extravagant that they can't afford it. But I don't see the left, the ones that cried about the hunts, I don't see them stepping up to fund these projects where these hunters were funding these projects. It's the hypocrisy of the left. Last fall, students protest and the thoughtful discussion that followed have changed how this campus will remember Woodrow Wilson, and I suspect how our country will remember him as well. The president stated, "I count myself among those who have learned from this process. I now have a deeper appreciation for Wilson's failings and what those failings have meant to this country and our campus. I recognize the need to describe him in a way that is more balanced and more faithful to history than this university and I have previously done." The Associated Press on Monday reported that Wilson's name will remain on Princeton's public policy school despite the controversy. Princeton has also opened an exhibit titled "In the Nation's Service, Wilson Revisited" that acknowledges both his accomplishment and bigotry, it added. The New York Times on Monday reported that a mural of the president also remains hanging in Princeton's dining hall. Wilson, college president, is responsible for the mural's display, it added, but has not rendered a final verdict on the image. The reports come as the university on Monday was holding an exhibit that examined the contested legacy of Woodrow Wilson. I don't ever hear him bitching about LBJ. So many minorities in this country have been used by politicians, both left and right, to further their agendas. It is sick. But unfortunately, we've also now created an issue where we have these minority groups that think everything's entitled to them because 400 years ago something happened. Yeah, I can sympathize. Bad things happened to your ancestors. I didn't do it. I'm not paying for something that happened 400 years ago because all cultures at one time or another have been enslaved, have been mistreated. I'm not saying it's right. It doesn't make it right, but all cultures. We need to stand up and go on with our lives. Learn from the past. Do not live it, because if you live in the past, there is no future. There's more pressing things to deal with than worrying about what a president of the country, what the president of the University of Princeton did. We can't change it. I don't see anybody taking down the Margaret Singer, whatever, bus that's in museums. She started Planned Parenthood for the purpose of wiping out the population of blacks in the United States. Nobody goes after that part. Everybody ignores that. You have Hillary Clinton saying that that is a role model for her. And that's okay when the left does it. It is ignored when the left does it. I find it repulsive and disgusting. But yeah, on the right, we're the racists. The misconceptions that are passed on about conservatives is appalling. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by me, Jersey Joe, right here on High Plains Pundit Radio and SHR Media. We'll be right back.
done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cough was stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a live broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream button. And if you like the live stream, don't forget to place a comment and hit the subscribe button. If you want to support the Reaver of Common Sense show, or if you want to support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one, click on the Reaver store, pick up t-shirts, coffee mugs, Reaver jerseys, or SHR Media jerseys. All right, I am trying to figure something out. Something else popped up. There is a it's District 8 in I think it's Washington, D.C., and they're having some kind of event, which is funny because you have to bring your ID to the event. But the Democrats say that IDs are racist. I find it kind of funny when it suits them. It's perfectly okay to show ID or require ID. And Hillary Clinton has now said the unborn person does not have constitutional rights. Sunday on NBC Meet the Press, while discussing her position on abortion, Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton said under our laws currently, the unborn person does not have constitutional rights. This is a partial transcript which follows. Todd, give me your straightforward position on the issue of abortion. Ms. Clinton, my position is in line with Roe versus Wade, that women have a constitutional right to make these moment intimate and personal and difficult decisions based on their conscience, their faith, their family, their doctor, and that it is something that really goes to the core of privacy. And I want to maintain that constitutional protection under Roe versus Wade. Have you ever noticed both the Republicans and the Democrats do it? They both do this. When it is a Supreme Court ruling in their favor, it is God's law. We cannot fight it. God has even spoken on it. But when it's something that they don't agree with, they ignore it outright, or they made a mistake. They don't know what they're talking about. We don't have to listen to them. That is nothing. That's just an opinion. Oh, they agree with us? Yep, that's law. We cannot. It's done. It's over with. We cannot discuss it anymore. When it's about abortion, Roe versus Wade, oh my God, the Democrats are like, we can't talk about it anymore. Roe versus Wade has made their decisions. It's over with. It's done with. Why are we talking about it? Heller versus D.C. Oh, they made a big mistake. They didn't know what they were talking about, and we're going to keep fighting it. Does anybody see the hypocrisy that goes on with this bullshit? And I get tired of seeing it time and time again. And both sides do it. Both sides do it all the time. Under Roe versus Wade, as you know, there is room for reasonable kinds of restrictions after a certain point in time. I think the life, the health of the mother are clear, and those should be included even as one moves on in pregnancy. So I've had the same position for many years. Todd goes on, when or does an unborn child have constitutional right? Well, under our laws currently, that is not something that exists. The unborn person doesn't have constitutional rights. Can someone show me where it says that? Because I don't think it actually touches either way. And I'm being serious. I don't ever remember it saying that unborn children do not have constitutional rights. I also don't see where it says that they do have constitutional rights. But underneath current interpretations, even a foreigner who has to deal with the United States in anything. We have terrorists killing us overseas, but they are given constitutional rights of the United States as we capture them overseas and brought to the United States for trial. They're given full constitutional rights. Now, the crimes they committed weren't on U.S. soil. They're not U.S. citizens, but Why do they get constitutional rights? An unborn child, at least she admits it is an unborn child. Remember the Super Bowl ad where the baby's, getting the mother's there with a ultrasound, and the father has the Dorito, and he's watching the baby move around trying to grab the Dorito, so he throws it down the hallway, and the kid comes popping out of the mom. And oh my God, that was a pro or anti-abortion commercial. That was humanizing the fetus. And what? These people are so lost touch with reality. They have lost touch with reality. I'm not saying abortions should be illegal or legal. I have some issues with certain things. And I get told, oh, you're a man, shut up, and it's none of your business. But if I want to go get circumcised, and in a lot of states, for me to go get circumcised because I'm married, I got to get my wife's permission. But she doesn't have to get my permission for it because it's her body. But when it comes to the male body, no, it's different. No, it isn't. It's the hypocrisy that goes on. I don't see where a 24-hour waiting period, and usually it's, okay, well, we got to do some procedures and schedule everything. 24-hour waiting period of saying, hey, let's sit back, take a time out, go home, we'll schedule everything for tomorrow. Just want you to go home, we'll do the test today, we'll have everything set up for tomorrow to come in. Just go home, think about what's going on, and come back tomorrow, and we'll do the process. What's wrong with that? I don't think there's an issue. There is issues with abortions where if a woman has too many, it can make them sterile. And they don't usually know that when they use it as a form of birth control. They don't think about that part or know about that part. And then later on in life, when they can't get pregnant, there's all other issues that go along. Yes, it's your body, your choice, but there is some safety issues that go on about that. You have murderers on death row that are forced by these left people. We can't commit murder. No murder. Oh, we can't commit murder. Oh, no, we got to save every life. Oh, abortions? Fuck it. Slice and dice that sucker and sell the parts. And that's exactly how the left is. They want to protect terrorists. They protect mass murderers. Oh, an unborn child. Hey, you know what? Slice and dice and sell those parts. And that is disgusting. But at least Clinton acknowledges that it's a child. It's an unborn child. At least she admits that it's human. I don't see how she gets that there's no constitutional right. I think the child does have some constitutional rights. And the father should have a say in the matter. Because if he wants that child, and he's willing to raise the child, because if the roles were reversed, he didn't want the child, and he says we should get an abortion, and the mother says no, then she can go after him for the next 18 years for money from him. Well, it takes two to make that baby. And at that point, there should be some kind of discussion, and the man should have some kind of rights. I know, it's my body, and you have no right to tell me what to do with it. Then you have no right to go after the father if you wanted to keep the child. They want their cake and eat it, too. And just like they want the right, they want the equal rights, the feminists want the equal rights. Oh, I don't want to be drafted. No. We shouldn't be in the draft. You wanted equal rights. Now that you're getting equal rights, you're complaining about them. You only want equal rights when it's to your advantage. Now, there's a fine balance when we come to this abortion discussion. And I'm not saying women should not be allowed to have them, but there is a fine balance between the two. And yes, I do have a right to my opinion, whether I'm male or female or what. I have the right to my opinion. I have the right to voice my opinion. What's up, Dave? And congratulations. It's a subject that affects more than just the female body. It affects more than that. But at least Clinton admits that it's a child. So the RNC chair admits that Trump has brought in millions of new voters to the party. On Sunday, CBS Face the Nation, Republican National Committee Chairman said that the Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump has brought in millions of new voters to our party. And again, the transcripts as follow. Congratulations on the co-host gig. So, Dickerson, there's been a lot of talks. This would be about if Trump is the nominee. He would have special challenges in the general election with two groups, with women voters and then also with Hispanics. As somebody who cares about the health of the party, how much of a challenge he is special challenge would Donald Trump be as the party's nominee? And that's why, I'm sorry, every time I see the polls and the voting results, he's getting women, he's getting Hispanics, he's getting black votes, he's getting college educated, high school educated, he's getting all age groups. I didn't want to say too much, Dave, because I didn't know if it's been announced, and I didn't want to, spoil the big announcement. So, and I don't understand. I think it's some shenanigans that gets played, and when we're talking politics and elections, everybody plays these shenanigans. I'm not saying, it's just because of Trump. No, everybody plays the shenanigans. But he's getting all the different votes. He's getting the moderate. He's getting the independent. He's bringing Democrats over. And we've been wanting that as a party to grow, and we've been wanting to bring over some of them for years now. But the Republican National Committee chairman goes on, well, look, every candidate has positive and every candidate has challenges, and I'll agree with that statement outright. All three of the candidates have their positives, and they have their pros and they have their cons. But the fact is, Donald Trump also brought in millions of new voters to our party. We're ahead of the Democrats and registration, 70% turnout increase. Some of these things are historic for our party. Look at the Democrats. They're in a ditch. What about Hillary Clinton? Have you seen her numbers with women? Some of this stuff is pretty startling. I understand that we've got some drama in our side of the aisle that we have to contend with, and we'll be prepared like never before. You look at the Democrat, they're in for a fiasco, especially comes an indictment of Hillary Clinton and have open convention. Who knows? I've heard people talking Joe Biden coming back into the fold. There's drama, but we're prepared, and we're going to win, and we're going to retake the White House in November. Now, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think sometimes some of these issues are drummed up to create that passion for Trump, to get people out voting, to try to get them just so that they will win in November. I'm wondering sometimes if this is just not a setup, that the party and Trump aren't working together on this to do it on purpose, to create the issue and create the, I can't think of the word right now, but to create this rage and create this hunger that we want to get him in, and that people are going to fight and do everything for him. I'm wondering if it's not created. But I know what is created. The Reaver of Common Sense Show. And you're listening live on High Plains Pundit Radio and SHR Media. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense Show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cough was stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reverbcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reverb Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to SHR Media. Click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, go to Reaver.1. Click on the live stream. We make it so easy that a liberal can do it. And if you like the live stream, this one I got taught by my 12-year-old daughter. If you like the live stream, make a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. If you want to support the show, go to SHR Media, Reaver.1. Oh my God, I'm now totally lost. If you want to support the show, if you want to support SHR Media, go to Reaver.1, click on the Reaver store, pick up the t-shirt, coffee mug, or even a Reaver jersey. So, this one we're going to go over real quick. It's not that long, I don't think. No. And this isn't a slight against other part of the nations. But I think this is something in the Northeast that the Northeasterners understand, or at least the New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania area. If Trump said, if someone hits me, I have to hit them back harder. That's what we want to lead. And and it's something it may just be in the Northeast corridor. If someone hits, you got to hit back, and you hit back harder. You hit back to knock them down. And it's not I don't know if other parts of the country, and maybe that's why some people are having trouble with Trump. And that's where I can understand it. Because when you take a swing at us, we're going to come back even harder. And I'm not talking literally a swing. I'm talking figuratively. You take a swing at somebody, you go at somebody verbally, you go back 2-3 times harder. And I can understand that. And maybe that's some of the misinterpretation of what people see in Trump. I don't know. I'm not them, but I'm just making a guess. And he made this comment recently at a town hall, which aired on Sunday for Fox News Channel. And he had said that he will be more presidential and change his tone once he wins. But he said that does not mean he will not hit back harder if attacked first. Tone to me matters. Being presidential matters. If somebody hits me, I have to hit them back. I'm not going to sit there and say, I'm wonderful, I'm a president. I want to win, and I'll be presidential when that time comes. And I also can understand that you're in a battle mode now. And you have to have that mentality of, all right, this is the battle mode. And once you win, then you can go into being the president. I can understand it. I'm not saying everybody should understand it or it's right, wrong, or indifferent, but I can understand what he's saying and what he means by that. You got a battle right now, and it's a battle that's going on in the Republican. And if he becomes the nominee, it's going to be a battle with Hillary Clinton. I also don't see him backing down like Romney did to Obama. Romney did not fight back that hard. He was up against the rope, figuratively, the whole race. He might have been winning at certain parts, but he was up against the ropes. He was always backstepping. And he never took the fight to Obama. I do believe that Trump will take that fight to Hillary. And he's not going to back down when it's, oh, he hates women. Look, oh, he's making comments about me. And he's going to just keep the attack on. Where the Republican Party normally starts apologizing, oh, we're sorry, we don't want to offend anybody. I can see him still just keep going right at the target and not listen to the liberal bullshit that normally goes on. Yeah, barely fought back. I mean, there was times he did try to, and I'm talking Romney, he tried to take some swings, but they weren't that aggressive. So, it's like I said, maybe it's the New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, the tri-state area, where when we get hit, we're going to come back swinging even harder. And we're not going to be swinging, equally. We're going to come back to knock you on your ass. And I kind of understand that. But we'll get going. Because there are 7 lingering questions in the Clinton email investigation. The FBI appears to be entering the home stretch of its investigation into the Democrat presidential frontrunner Hillary Clinton's private email servers. Now, remember, this is just the email server. There's several other investigations into Hillary Clinton, including her foundation with the legal funding of it. And yet, even as arrangements are reportedly being made to interview Clinton and her top aides, much remains unclear. The FBI, under Director James Comey, refuses to publicly discuss the investigation, as is customary, but critics say the lingering questions show the review is anything but routine and could result in criminal indictment. Here's a look at what is still not publicly known. When will the investigation end? Which is, I think, a kind of stupid question because it'll end when it ends. You keep investigating till the road either ends or if it branches off, you keep going. You don't say there's a timeline of we got 30 days. No, you keep going where the leads take you. This is not a political, this is not being done for political reasons. This is because Clinton did some illegal shenanigans, and it's being brought back and biting her in the ass. And I hate hearing, well, this one did it and that one did it, so why are we making that? If they did it, they ought to be investigated, and they should be charged if they did the same stuff. I'm tired. That's not an excuse. There's people that commit murder every day. Doesn't mean we should stop prosecuting the people that commit murder. What laws might have been broken? The top officials at the FBI Justice Department have refused to discuss what charges, if any, might result from the investigation. Speculations about the charges has centered on federal statutes prohibiting against removing federal documents. A portion of that law bars officials from willingly and unlawfully concealing, removing, or destroying federal records. Who is in the crosshairs? Clinton is in the highest profile name floated as a possible target of the FBI's probe, but she isn't alone. According to Al Jazeera, the FBI is also seeking to interview Clinton's former chief of staff, Cheryl Mills, and ex-spokesman Philip Raines. Questions have also mounted about longtime aide, Abedin, under the Secretary for Management, Patrick Kennedy, and former State Department official Jake Sullivan, who authored more emails now considered classified on Clinton's server than anyone else. A conservative legal watchdog group has asked for 8 people to testify in a separate case relating to Clinton's server, including Mills, Abedin, Kennedy, and an IT official, Brian Paglioni. In that case, a federal judge said current and former State Department officials could be questioned about whether the department willfully circumvented the Freedom of Information Act. What would the government have to prove to file charges? Perhaps the biggest question for the Bureau is whether there was an intent to willfully remove government documents or whether Clinton's situation was merely an oversight, as she has claimed. None of the thousands of emails that Clinton handed over to the State Department were marked as classified, the government has said, but classified information appeared in unmarked emails as well. Upon entering office, Clinton signed a non-disclosure agreement vowing to protect classified information, whether it is marked or unmarked. Last week, the State Department halted its internal probe of whether 22 emails that had been deemed top secret, the highest level of classifications, were classified at the time they were sent. The department said it was deferring to the FBI investigation. How much will the FBI say? The Justice Department is in a difficult spot, and it is likely to face a political backlash no matter what it decides in the Clinton case. Many conservatives already doubt that the Obama administration is willing to pursue an indictment connected to the Democrat presidential frontrunner. Lack of formal charges may merely be viewed as proof that the process was not above board. Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley has pressed for the FBI to release the evidence collected during its investigation once the probe is concluded, nevertheless of the outcome, to reassure the public that political consideration did not play a role in the department's decision. Was the server secure? Clinton's camp has refused to outline precisely which digital protection she used to safeguard this information on her private server. Independent cybersecurity analysis has concluded that the server went at least 2 months without using standard encryption protection that makes data inaccessible to hackers. And that is, well, the end of the show for today. And I want to thank you for listening. I'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And also, I will be on tomorrow night with the Reaver After Dark, hosted by the Jersey Boys at 8 p.m. till 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please come back and listen some more, and I was glad to have you. And if you're watching the live stream, do not forget to subscribe. Have a great day. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.